So we have a working speedometer, a timer, and checkpoints. So now we're going to see what else we can add. I do want this speedometer to wobble the faster the player gets, to add another visual aid to the player that they're going pretty fast. If the player is going too fast, then it can be very hard for them to make corners, and the wobbling will give them a little bit of a mental note that they're a little more unstable at high speeds. So we are going to take speed dot rotate angle equals, take a random minus random. This gives us a negative, this will give us a random value between 0 and -1, and then we multiply it by the velocity. I know this is going to be a little bit too shaky. There it goes. Very shaky. And the faster we get, the shakier it gets too. Now, we will divide that by 3, so it's not as shaky. I have used this form of speedometer in previous games, such as the prototype. Alright, so now if v is less than, alright, hold on, random times v, it's less than 1, then speed dot value equal, or speed dot fill equals red, else we will set it back to its normal shade of 239, 157, 133. 133. So now as the player gets faster, there's an occasional chance that the player will see a speedometer of a different color. The other way around, I mean. Uh, so random, let's change this. And range 0 to, let's see, value, just say 2000, oops, yeah, 2000 divided by 50, so that'd be a base value of about 40. So we'll set this to about 101. That'll give us a random value, a random whole value between 0 and 100. That is less than V. This means as it gets faster, it'll start turning red more until the player will eventually get so fast that it's almost constantly red. At some point, it will be constantly red. And I believe that would be right around 6,000 where it turns completely red. Let's get up to 6,000 real quick. It is wobbling quite a bit more in there. It's completely red. I'm going to make it go bold while it is red. Oops, I meant that to be false. it's shaking a little bit more. And I will add a few other colors. Oops. Put blue in there. And green, or not green, lime. For the reason green is not the 255, lime is. So this will increase the chances that it goes to a different color, and it'll give some variety. Now, as I said previously, I have done speedometers like this in previous projects, if I can find it. Racer Evo, that's the file name. Except in this one, the speedometer is much larger and it sits behind. And there we go, we have a glitch. This one was meant to be to look like a computer simulation thing. As you can see, the jet has its glowing effects. And the otherwise green speedometer will change colors as you go faster. So if we go back to this, I might actually up the size of our speedometer. So speed dot size equals, I'll just give it a size of 15 plus v divided by 2. This will make it so it increases in size as the player gets faster, but doesn't get too big too fast. There we go. Might drop that down to 10. And each of these I want to go up higher. I want this one to be lime. Go to 150. Minus 1 equal to 200. That's most likely to turn red than any other color, and least likely to turn blue. So the speedometer will look a little more hectic as the player gets faster. I'm actually not liking these different colors. That does not fit the rest of the game. There. So we have the checkpoints. That's filled done. Now let's add a record time. Let's see. Here's the checkpoint UI. I'm going to add a record time slightly to the left, and later when I add the bot, I'll add the bot's time to the right. So this label will have 0 as its base value, and give it a left value of about 160 and a height of 360. See, and then we'll copy and paste the rest of the timer UI over here. The timer stats over here. Perfect. Make this a little bit lower. we go. That way it won't be too distracting from the main time. The player should be focusing on the main time. Now, when a player passes the finish line, if the record dot value equals 0, so if the player has not entered a value, it will automatically set the record value to the timer value. It will also, hold on, or timer, forget the parentheses, timer dot value is less than record dot value. So now we will have to complete a lap. Let's make our little spaceship. Okay, so just set it to 0. It's not what I want. Let's Control X. Make it the first thing it does. Now it checks it before it resets the timer here. Where did that one go? There it is. That's weird. It's because it's active on multiple frames. And we also need this to check. Oh, I forgot about that. If check UI dot fill is not equal to nothing, and we'll repeat that for the other two checkpoints. There we go. So now it'll only reset that if the player has passed all three checkpoints. So I have to complete a lap. Oh. I don't want to check that one twice. This is why I do it incrementally. I don't just make a whole bunch of stuff all at once and then hope it works. I do it a little bit at a time. 196. Check one UI. Let's make a little spaceship again. And hopefully this will work. All right, there we go. First one's looking good. Come on. Where's the rock? There's the rock. There's the rock again. This is why I want to add an asteroid belt. because it's going to be very hard to detect where the rock is when it's not on screen. Like that. I also still have no idea how to program glancing blows in. So for now, that glitch is going to stay there. Oh, there's the rock. So times around this track are obviously going to be slow. I still need to add a UI for the player's heading, so the player knows where they're going. Go on, where is it? Oh, I thought I could get to 2024. Oh well. Alright, well, I'm gonna get lost doing this, so I'm going to add the heading UI. I'm just gonna make it a simple little line that just sits behind everything. So, heading UI was line. I'm gonna make it auto set except for the second set of coordinates. Fill equals gold. Opacity equals 25. So if check one UI dot fill does not equal none, the heading UI dot x1 equals check one UI dot center x, and the heading UI dot y1 will equal the check one UI center y, and this will repeat for the other three, or for the other two, I should say. It will repeat for the finish line as well. That's where I was getting 3 from, but it is not technically a checkpoint, so we'll just say else actually. All else fails, it'll just point you to the finish line. Alright, and the second checkpoint. Now let's see if we can complete our race with the one block spaceship. Should be interesting. So I'm actually currently not able to see where that line is. Heading UI. Heading UI dot OV equals 5. So this, separate the two. And then heading UI dot opacity plus equals heading UI dot OV if heading UI dot opacity is less than 30. Heading UI dot OV plus equals 1. Else heading UI dot OV minus equals 1. Should give it a little bit of a flashing effect. And I still cannot see it. Let's make that 50. Just see if I can actually see it. I cannot. Still. There it goes. Why is it not pointing me to? Why is it not pointing me to the checkpoints? It should be pointing me that way. Huh. Yeah. I had it backwards. Oops. Yeah, let's put on a spaceship and try and get a lap time in. Just make sure that the lap times actually work. Oh. Alright, so I set it to the actual UI. Then just check 1, check 2, check 3. Oh, that's gonna. I just realized those are gonna break as soon as I pass the first checkpoint. Alright. There we go. Now it is pointing me to the first checkpoint. Oh. direction. I'm also going to make it change its color based on whether or not it's hitting something. So it'll tell you if it's hitting the asteroid, and that'll give the player a heads up that there might be something in the way. Come on, out of fuel. Why are we backwards now? Just past it. Might also add a, there we go, time. Might also add a soft lock. No, I'm not gonna do that. Okay. If heading UI dot hits shape asteroid main. Heading UI dot fill equals, I'm gonna make it the same color as this, but a little more red. RGB 240, 155, 130. Else. Else we're just gonna make it heading UI dot fill equals RGB 250. That's not what I wanted. 155. 200, 100. So now it'll be different colors depending on whether or not it's hitting something. Yeah, so we can make a comically small spacecraft. There we go. It's red. Once we get far enough out here, it should turn a different color. There we go. I make it slightly more green. That looks not good. Swap those around. There we go. It turns to a sort of purple color, and that's actually not what I want. So I'll just go back to what the first one looked like. There. Alright, I think that will be it for today, for this week, I should say. I'll be back next week working on this game again. Alright, sweet. See ya.